Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
But if the mind does not move, it does stir, and stirring will definitely give an inexplicable feeling of present. It cannot be explained, but it will be very present. Somewhere we are doing. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. It must be in clear response to the spirit which hungers for it. If that is the case, someone will say we should be offering our prayers every minute of our lives. There is no doubt about it. But we erring mortals who find it difficult to retire within ourselves for inward communion, even for a single moment, will find it impossible to remain perpetually in communion with the Divine. We therefore fix some hours. Because in Gandhiji, while wherever he was, whether it was Sabarmati, whether it was Varda, whether it was Birla House in Delhi. I think in Varda and Sabarmati, the time was 4:15 to 4:45 early morning, and 7 to 7:30 in the evening, half an hour. So when our communion with him should be there, why this fixation of time? No? That's why he answers. All of us are busy with so many activities. So at least in ashram, we have the fixed program. If there is no fixed program, what will we do? There won't be any orderliness. So orderliness should be there in the beginning. We therefore fix some hours when we make a serious effort to throw off the attachment of the world for a while. We make a serious endeavor to remain, so to say, out of the flesh. Gandhiji is very practical. Even in the midst of hectic activities, he never compromised on any of the spiritual values, spiritual disciplines, because people are following him, unless he shows it by himself. Others will not be able to understand. He was very reverent. Apart from the 11 brothers, prayer was also there. So he said he fixed up because there are so many activities. Even though during that activity we should maintain God remembrance to the extent possible, there should be an intense period where we go out to the body level. No, that's what he says. There is no doubt about it. Prayer should be every minute of our lives. There is no doubt about it. But we erring mortals who find it difficult to retire within ourselves for inward communion, even for a single moment, will find it impossible to remain perpetually in communion with the Divine. Mind is not habituated. Mind is not tutored, trained to go inward. Every job is God's, no doubt. But there is still an inward and outward as long as we are devotees or spiritual sadhakas. Once we cross the boundary, there is no inward outward. But until such time that inward outward is there. So when he makes us to involve in so many outward activities, he also causes that we don't remember him. We are given a definition of how to remember him. It can vary from people to people. Each one has defined what is remembrance of God. So that is, so we need a particular time where at that time we therefore fix some hours when we make a serious effort to throw off the attachments of the world for a while. We make a serious endeavor to remain, so to say, out of the flesh, out of the body consciousness. You have heard Surdas hymn? It is a passionate cry of the soul. Hungering for union with the Divine. According to our standards, he was a saint, but according to his own, he was a proclaimed sinner. He says, "Where is there a wretch so loathsome and wicked as I? I have forsaken my Maker, so faithless I have been." He is a number one devotee of God, who was blessed with the darshanam, the physical form, though eyes closed. And when the Lord offered him the power of vision, he said, "No, that will make me to forget you. Now I am with you." Such a person says, it is the passionate cry of a soul hungering for union with the Divine. According to our standards, he was a saint, but according to his own, he was a proclaimed sinner. Spiritually, he was miles ahead of us, but he felt the aspiration from the Divine so keenly that he has uttered that anguished cry in loathing despair. I have talked of the necessity for prayer, and therethrough I have dealt with the essence of prayer. We are born to serve our fellow men, and we cannot properly do so unless we are wide awake. There is an eternal struggle raging in man's breast between the powers of darkness and of light. And he who has not the sheet anchor of prayer to rely upon will be a victim to the power of darkness. So power is a sheet anchor. It protects. The man of prayer will be at peace with himself and with the whole world. The man who goes about the affairs of the world without a prayerful heart will be miserable and will make the world also miserable. Apart therefore from its bearing on man's condition after death, prayer has incalculable value for man in this world of the living. Prayer is the only means of bringing about orderliness and peace and repose in our daily acts. We inmates of the ashram who came here in search of truth and for insistence on truth professed to believe in the efficacy of prayers but had never up to now made it a matter of vital concern. We did not bestow on it the care that we did on other matters. I awoke from my slumbers one day and realized that I had been woefully negligent of my duty in the matter. I have therefore suggested measures of stern discipline, and far from being any of the words, I hope we are the better for it. For it is so obvious. Take care of the vital thing, and other things will take care of themselves.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Many things are not visible. All five sense organs probably are visible. Organs of action may be visible. But the rest of the things are not visible at all. But each one, how does it function? Each one is having its own unique functioning. Not that the same type of functioning. So we start thinking that thy glory, wow. In the thy glory prayer, only 2 or 3 things are mentioned. You have given me the eyes to see, ears to hear. It is all thy glory. We can keep on adding. This is one method by which we become aware of His presence so intimately and closely. Because whenever we become aware of it when we get a disease, otherwise we don't remember. Suppose you get indigestion, suppose you get acidity, immediately then you go to the doctor or somebody gives you medicine. Then only you come to know which is not functioning all right. Until such time we have not given any importance for the particular functioning at all. This has been engaging our attention, this particular dimension. What all you have given. I will just read out. Many may be doctors, so they will be able to easily connect up and share and do some more research. Muscular system, digestive system, respiratory system, urinary system, reproductive organs, endocrine system, circulatory system, then nervous system. For example, in muscular system, human skeleton, joints, ligaments, tendons. Wow. Digestive system, mouth, teeth, tongue, salivary glands. Then parotid glands, I don't know. Then submandi glands. Sublingual glands, even we don't know how to pronounce. Then esophagus, stomach, small intestine, duodenum, large intestine, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, anal canal and anus, blood cells, nasal, then respiratory, nasal activity, nasal cavity, laryngitis you have heard. Larynx. Then bronchi, lungs, diaphragm, kidney, urethra, bladder, ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina, vulva, placenta, and to make then pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, heart, patent ovary, arteries, veins, capillaries, lymphatic vessel, lymph node, bone marrow, thymus, spleen, gut associated tissue, tonsils, then brain, cerebrum, cerebral hemispheres, brainstem, midbrain, medulla oblongata, cerebellum, spinal cord, ventricular system, then nerves, cranial nerves, spinal nerves, ganglia, enteric nervous system, eye, cornea, iris, lens, retina, ear, outer ear, earlobe, eardrum, middle ear, inner ear, and so many other things. So when we start at least one or two or three, what a beautiful inner system you have created. And to preside over this, the brain is there, who is supervising all these actions. And there are Navadvare Bure Dehi. What all you have given to me, I have not done anything for any of these things in its proper place. That is why I function as an individual. Whenever there is any disorder in any of these organs, then I call it as disease, I go to the doctor, I take medicine, and immediately I forget about it. I don't thank you for that. He is giving me the, now I understand probably that he is giving me a disease, he gives me some physical, some pain, to know that something is there. What is that? I don't know. We just go to the doctor. He says you take a scan, X-ray, MRI. So many things, scanning. And we just come back, and if somebody, doctor says something, we repeat to somebody, my elbow, this sixth one is not alright, seventh one is not alright. We have no idea. My heart is not pumping 20%, something like that we say, We have no idea. Nor do we think that it has been given to us at the time of birth, from when I was in my mother's womb. How slowly he started developing all these in my body. From the seed, how it started developing it. How many departments. And when I came out, it was in a primitive stage. And then it slowly, started growing. So, do we have to go anywhere else to find these attributes? Every day morning when we look at a flower, a leaf, look at a tree or a plant, look at a fruit, we find the variety is there. But we hardly think about what is inside us, What all I have been blessed with. What makes me as an individual. You have given me a role, agreed. I know I have got a sense of individuality. All these things. But what is that? To make the sense of individuality, what all you have done. And they don't ask me, The so-called me does not dictate anything to them. If at all I do, I create some problem for them. What is to be done when I violate? I get disease. So not only that he has given the organs, not only that he has fixed up the functionings, not only that he has given specific laws, statutory laws for every organ, he also ensured that there is a wonderful coordination. Whereas we find it difficult, to coordinate between individuals and individuals, at home, in an organization. But look at the way in which he has kept everything. The eyes do not trespass into the territory of ear. It doesn't trespass into the territory of nose. Do we apply our mind on all these?
parts are in human body.
Eh?
Even intellect has been given by him
Ah.
to know that so many parts are there in the human body.
Correct. Just look at this. When we close our eyes and start reflecting, the great provider who has provided and who has been providing us. We thought, something from outside. Forget about it. What all he has provided inside. And he has been impartial. The same thing is done to everybody. For human beings, there are certain types of molds, for animals, for plants, for insects. So when we try to pray, when we are finding it difficult for the mind to get fixed on the God principle, whatever concept we have developed, I think this method might help us to know something about the organs inside.
Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya.
Swami Chidanji Maharaj used to say at that time, this did not strike to us. If we start listing out what all we don't have, first of all we should know what all we have. What all we have been provided with. So our prayer should be such that it directly makes us aware of the wonderful setup he has established within ourselves. Then we can look at others, look at the world outside. If we keep on concentrating on this and the various functioning, the law behind it, how does it respond to the external stimuli? Something unimaginable. Closely we watch, now. When I look at a thing, what happens to me? When a sound comes, what happens to me? When a fragrance, a foul smell or a fragrance comes, what happens? When I eat, what happens? Do we apply our mind? Do we think that we are doing anything? Papa in his talk about what is spirituality, he has touched upon this. Who is doing all these? Then at least we come to know there is a spirit behind it, and the spirit is called Atman, God, to whom we are now, for whose presence we are praying now. And then later on we come to know that he is not there, I will not be able even to pray to him. So not only that he is there, he has given all these equipments. Even to know all these equipments we need his grace, otherwise we will not know. In the form of awareness, in the form of consciousness. So real prayer is communion with God. That's why Gandhiji said that is the core of our being. Prayer is the core of our being. So one of the easiest methods would be to concentrate. If the mind is not behaving well, the mind, you can close the eyes and then concentrate upon the different organs functioning now. How does it function? Where from it got the instruction? The norms were set by whom? Which is right, which is wrong? Which is compatible, which is incompatible? Which is inimical? Which is okay? Supplementary? Complementary? Who decided these norms? Then we come to know that power. Without that power, nothing can. And I have completely forgotten about this power. I am identifying with what others talk to, what others treat me as me. I have completely forgotten this prayer. For this power. And this power is behind the very sense of individuality. And without that prayer, I don't exist. So from the intellectual level to the experiential level, when we want to travel, probably this might help. It is worth trying.